What if you took Curlier's Mirage Step attack, put it onto a 310 HP Pokemon, and changed the text so that you could grab any 3 water Pokemon from the discard pile instead? Well, what you'd have is the newly released Kingdra from the latest Pokemon set Shrouded Fable, and what is my favorite new card. I've tested about 10 different lists, but when it really comes down to it, there's 2 very opposed ways to approach the card, and both of them revolve around energy acceleration. The first way is the one that made the most sense to me initially. The pre-evolution Seadra has a card with the attack Swim Freely, which means that you can leverage this Finneon for the Oceanic Accompaniment ability. The second build, and the one that I ended up spending the most time on, is one that seeks to establish a very solid board on its second turn at the cost of tempo in order to have a powerful and resilient mid to late game. The board states of both of these approaches are pretty different. On the one hand, you've got Seadra and Finneon, and on the other hand, you've got 4 Stage 2 Pokemon by your second turn. Although I ended up favoring the King's Order focused strategy, you're in for a bit of a treat, because I'm going to share with you 4 lists to get you started with the deck. Let's dive deep with the Deep Sea King. At the center of all 4 of these decks is Kingdra EX. At a moderate 310 HP, it stands amongst the likes of Gardevoir EX or Greninja EX. Sharing a weakness with Pidgeot EX is not the best, but at least it only has a very light retreat cost at 1. Starting with the second attack, Hydro Pump is a time-honored water Pokemon attack which can be used for 2 colorless energy at a minimum. It does 50 damage and then 50 more for each water energy it has attached. If you stack 6 water energy on the Kingdra, you're knocking out virtually every Pokemon in the format, and unlike Chien-Pao EX, you don't discard the energy at the end of your turn. This creates an urgency which requires your opponent to deal with it. You can force very uncomfortable situations where opponents can't afford to go after your important support Pokemon on the bench. These positions sort of remind me of playing Keldeo EX and Blastoise 10 years ago. King's Order can be used for just a single energy. You put up to 3 water Pokemon from your discard pile onto your bench. It's easy enough to use the attack, but in a Kingdra deck always seeking to use King's Order on its second turn of the game, the challenge lies in the Pokemon you include and the cards you include to best facilitate King's Order. My first thought with Kingdra was to focus on using Finneon to accelerate energy to Seadra. Our options for getting energy onto Kingdra are either Baxcalibur or Finneon, and Finneon is a lot easier to put into play. I'd also just finished building a deck with a strong focus on Rabsca, which protects your bench Pokemon from damage and damage counters. It felt like a really nice fit for a deck with a variety of low HP Pokemon. Here's a sample list. You have to set up a herd of Seadra to evolve into. Get your Finneon in there just in time to speed up your energy with attachments via its Oceanic Accompaniment ability. Your board has low HP, so Rabsca is here to protect your Seadra before they evolve. Put 2 into play if you have to. If you're feeling brave, I also tried a list which dispenses with the Rabsca and leans on just a single copy of Manaphy for your bench protection. Your Dragapult matchup will be much worse, but you'll be able to consolidate your draw power and consistency in return. The most interesting idea here is using Energy Switch, which provides a way for you to accelerate energy to a Seadra and then swap the energy to a Kingdra if needed. Scoop Up Cyclone is here to help shift the prize trade tempo into your favor. Power Glass is a new and interesting tool in Shrouded Fable, and I felt it was a good fit here. It takes a discarded basic energy and attaches it to the equipped Pokemon at the end of the turn as long as that Pokemon is in the active position. After I felt I'd tested the style of Kingdra enough, I moved on to testing a version which focuses on utilizing King's Order on turn 2. After iterating a few times, I came up with this list. With King's Orders, we can trade out the 50 HP Finneon for the 160 HP Baxcalibur, which sounds like a pretty good upgrade, but it does come with its own caveats. The main difference between the two is not necessarily the speed, but it's the board position at the end of your second turn. With the Finneon version, you finish your second turn with a single prize Pokemon in the active spot. However, with the King's Order version, you finish the turn with Kingdra EX in the active instead. If your opponent is able to KO the Kingdra EX on that turn, you're starting the game with a 2 or sometimes even 3 prize deficit. Kingdra EX, once set up, of course, can repeatedly knock out opponents' Pokemon with Hydro Pump. The dream scenario is taking 4 prizes with a single Kingdra EX and then powering up a second Kingdra to take the final 2. But with 300 plus HP Pokemon being the norm, it can be difficult to achieve. To try and offset being set behind early, in this list we've got Legacy Energy to reduce the number of prizes taken by 1 when the Pokemon it's attached to is knocked out by damage. We've got 4 Iono and the Seething Currents Kingdra for hand disruption. Serendipity EX is also here to help find more cards throughout the game after being knocked out. I like this list, but there was something missing. When you compare it to the gold standard for a Baxcalibur base deck, PAL, the key difference is that this Kingdra list does not feature PokéStop, nor the item-centric list which makes it so successful. So, after talking with and sharing some ideas with my viewers over on Twitch, I started working on and iterating exactly that. This is where I eventually landed. PokéStop makes a lot of sense for a deck that wants to see Pokemon enter the discard pile. When deck building, I like to tell people to focus on the things that feel good. When something happens in a game, when you draw a particular card, the more you chase that positive sentiment in your list, the closer you're going to get to the ideal one. This list is all in. There's a belief that we will set up Baxcalibur without the need for Frigibacks. There's a belief that we don't need 4 Horsea to set up our board. This is the list that I'm going to focus on with you. Your main Kingdra line is a 3-0-3/1 line of Kingdra EX and Kingdra from Astral Radiance. Is it Astral Radiance? I have to double check that, because I think I wrote it as LOR before. It is LOR, it's not Astral Radiance. I knew it. This deck is unconventional, with a main evolution line which is heavier at the top end. We dispense with the Seadra completely, as we solemnly believe that we will set up as needed with a couple of Horsea. Kingdra EX will flood the board with an array of Stage 2 Pokemon on our second turn, and then become our main attacker with Hydro Pump. The Seething Currents Kingdra, put into play either by way of evolution or King's Order, is relatively fine as a single prize attacker, but interesting most of all as a disruptor of your opponent's hand, as well as an option to refresh your hand if needed. 4 Baxcalibur are here as an essential component of the deck. Baxcalibur's Super Cold ability is our deck's quintessential water acceleration ability. Stack those energy onto Kingdra and swing for big damage. Greninja is here to offer a degree of depth to how you can pressure. Moonlight Shuriken is a fantastic attack which can end games if an opponent doesn't respect it. Concealed Cards continues to be a crucial ability as well. Seeing extra cards is always valuable, and it can combo with Ciphermaniac's Codebreaking to boot. Finally, we have a singular Feraligatr in the deck. This Pokemon is fantastic in its ability to deal a very high amount of damage as a single prize Pokemon. Torrential Heart puts 50 damage on Feraligatr, but then empowers its attack by 120 damage, boosting Giant Wave to a pretty significant 280 damage. It represents a great way to take down a multi-prize Pokemon like Pidgeot EX, or even Pokemon like Serendipity EX or Rotom or Lumineon without exposing Kingdra to danger. The trainer engine is reminiscent of PAL Baxcalibur. There are a lot of items and a very small set of supporters here which combo very nicely. Irida's precise target selection helps lead into long sequences of search and discard as you aim to put the right Pokemon into the discard pile for a King's Order on your second turn. Ciphermaniac's Codebreaking is a combo piece which works really well with Radiant Greninja's ability, Trekking Shoes, and PokéStop. Unique to the strategy is the idea that you might actually want to put cards to the top that you intentionally want to discard, such as Baxcalibur. The items here are mostly around finding Pokemon, finding energy, or retrieving Pokemon and energy. Trekking Shoes is here to see more cards and potentially discard Pokemon for King's Order. Scoop Up Cyclone is here as our answer to needing to offset the pace of the prize trade. The dream scenario is one where Kingdra EX tanks a hit early. We use Scoop Up Cyclone to pick it up, and then send out another Kingdra in its place. This A-Spec can serve a variety of uses throughout a game, and you shouldn't be afraid of using it if there's no other way through a particular turn. The other great thing about this card is that you won't be discarding it with PokéStop, unlike something like Legacy Energy. Now, this list is by no means perfect, and it'll be up to you to decide what you like or don't like about it. Trekking Shoes, for example, is pretty borderline, and could be replaced by 4 cards of your choosing. You could try cards like an extra Horsea, Frigibacks, a second Seething Currents Kingdra. Maybe you want to add Night Stretcher, a second Super Rod, Chen Power EX, more energy, or anything else that you can think of that might be a good addition to the deck. So now let's go through what a typical game with this Kingdra list might look like. In the early game, we're looking to set up a board with 2 or maybe 3 Horsea and Radiant Greninja. At minimum, you need Horsea to be ready for a King's Order on turn 2. You should think about how you're going to have to get Horsea to the active with an energy attached on your second turn. So remember to attach energy to Horsea on your first turn if you're able to, especially if Greninja is stuck in the active. There's really nothing worse than missing a King's Order just because you forgot to attach energy. Otherwise, you need to start thinking about how you're going to set up Kingdra and get Baxcalibur and friends into the discard pile. Use PokéStop ASAP and dig for cards to discard your Pokemon, or perhaps if you're lucky, see the cards discarded directly with the effect of the stadium. Your second turn is pivotal. This is your chance to establish a Kingdra EX and ideally use King's Order to establish the Pokemon that you need for the rest of the game. Think about cards like Irida and its ability to grab a Pokemon and an item which can discard it. For example, you might play Irida for Baxcalibur and an Ultra Ball. Discard the Baxcalibur with Ultra Ball, find a second Baxcalibur, and then discard this Baxcalibur with a card like Earthen Vessel. Of course, you'll need to plan around what cards you have in hand and make your selections accordingly to achieve a turn 2 Kingdra EX. Most of the time, you're going to use King's Order to put 2 Baxcalibur down, so the third selection here comes down to what you think will happen over the next couple of turns and what you have access to. If you think you'll be able to evolve a second Horsea on your bench, you could forego putting another Kingdra EX into play in favor of something like Feraligatr, or Seething Currents Kingdra as an example. After the second turn, you're firmly into the mid-game and you've got a few options. Primarily, you're looking to put as many energy as needed on Kingdra in order to one-hit KO your opponent's Pokemon. Draw the energy out with Earthen Vessel and recover it from the discard pile with your regular and superior energy retrieval. This aspect of the deck is pretty simple, but there's more to Kingdra than brute force. We need cunning to win as well. The mid-game is just as tricky as the early game to get right. When I think about winning a game of Pokemon cards, I think about how many turns it takes for me to win versus how many it takes for my opponent to win. Because you lose a turn of tempo with King's Order, we have to find a way to extend the amount of time it takes for our opponent to win, and that's done in one of 3 ways. You've got prize denial, advantageous prize trades, and disruption. Prize denial is a pretty simple concept to start with. In this deck, we're mainly looking to achieve this by way of Scoop Up Cyclone to save a damaged Kingdra. In an ideal game, Kingdra EX might take a one-hit KO, receive heavy damage in return, and then you could use Scoop Up Cyclone to return the whole Pokemon line and the attached energy to your hand, removing an opportunity to take a 2-prize KO and setting their progress towards winning back by a turn. When the opportunity presents itself, you should consider using Scoop Up Cyclone, as with the high damage in the game, it may not happen more than once. Advantageous prize trades are a cornerstone of the game. Use a Pokemon to take a KO on a Pokemon which gives up more prizes than itself. Ideally, you're achieving this with just 1 attack as well. If you can take 2 prizes with a Pokemon that only gives up 1 in return, you will swing the momentum of the game in your favor. The 2 main ways for you to do this are by using Radiant Greninja to take 2 prizes against opponents who may be foregoing Manaphy in their lists, or by using Feraligatr and its Torrential Heart ability to increase its Giant Wave damage to 280, which is enough to knock out many of the supporting 2-prize Pokemon in format. The last way of shifting momentum, Disruption, may seem less potent here in Kingdra, but cannot be overlooked as a way to contribute to the success of your deck throughout the game. Kingdra LOR has the Seething Currents ability, which has either you or your opponent shuffle yours or their hand away and then draw 4 cards. Compared to other cards like Iono and Roxanne, Kingdra's effect is relatively weak, as your opponent will still see 4 cards. But when combined with a counter catcher on a Fezandipity EX or Pidgeot EX or some other consistency card on the bench, it might be enough to stop an opponent from achieving a full combo. If nothing else, hopefully Disruption will stop an opponent from being able to play around prize trade or prize denial strategies. This deck doesn't have too much in the way of surprises for the late game. When it comes to the late game, with cards like Dusknoir and Dragapult around, you mainly need to be wary about putting low HP Pokemon down. On the same token, you do also need to make sure you have the requisite attackers required to see the game out, so make sure you don't shy away from playing down Horsea in matchups where you believe it's safe. So look, there you have it. Project Kingdra is just a fancy way of saying, I tried a bunch of different ideas and this is what I came up with. If you saw my last video, this approach seemed to be pretty popular, so I wanted to try it again, and hopefully this was a fun and informative way for me to share my ideas with you. I'm going to leave you with some gameplay, but before we go, please consider just liking the video. Subscribe if you're feeling generous, comment if you're feeling brave, and I'll see you in the next live stream or video. Take care and see you next time. Cheers. There's like a missed opportunity there with Finneon. It gives you like a different... It creates a different tempo for the deck. That's interesting. You do enjoy Swim Freely, I know. I know.
It just works.
I know Crumbreon is a big fan of King's Orders. I do know. We haven't seen a supporter yet, so I'm gonna go with Trekking Shoes. Nah. Okay. PokéStop, go. And I mean, I am also a fan of the King's Orders, but... What's going on here? Okay, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna need you. I need some more cards, bro. Show me the cards. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Alright. Alright, this time we're cooking. We've got double backs. Backs. And we can go the Feraligatr, which can target down Pidgeot. Not bad. But yeah. Oi, the raffle's closed. Shall we draw that raffle while we wait for our opponent? I'm gonna do it now because I'm starting to run out of time. So, 16 entrants. These are gonna be for Shrouded Fable codes. And your winner is... John Tav. Hey, exclamation mark WP. Well done. Well done. We always congratulate our winners here. Now, if we're not up against Dusknoir, not bad. Not bad. But if we are up against Dusknoir, cringe. Okay. Okay. My one and only Super Rod in this list is gone. So that's not good. I think I have to grab... So we go Irida, and we take Kingdra plus Vessel. That's what I'm taking. And then we spin. Whew! Okay, shoes. Yes, I would like to put it in hand. Vessel. Boom. A double Horsea in a discard pile? Cringe. That sucks, actually. That's alright. So I think I'm grabbing double Baxcalibur and Feraligatr. I think that's what I'm grabbing. I really want to grab a Horsea though. Because there's the Scoop Up Cyclone play that could potentially happen. I think I want to do it that way. I don't know, this is it's a little spooky doing it this way, but dang dude, this could be good. If I hit Scoop Up Cyclone, I can scoop up the Kingdra, completely erase the turn that they have. I also really need to be able to get another Kingdra EX into play, so yeah, I think we have to do it this way.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Chill. Okay. Look, I'm not asking for much. I just want to hit Scoop Up Cyclone, please. Not asking for much. Wow, they let me keep the rare candy? Fine. Whatever. Yeah, you want a cringe card? Airy. Alright. So I'm gonna tank a hit from the Charizard, and then what? $180. Well done, Charizard. Well done. Okay. Ooh. Ooh, we got the Scoop Up Cyclone. That's funny. That's funny. I didn't necessarily want that in hand, actually. Because I could consider just using King's Orders again here. I should have discarded it, now that I think about it. Yeah. Bruh. But it's alright. We'll do it like this. So I think this time we put down the Horsea, and then we just grab the Feraligatr. Pretty cool that we get to erase a turn like that. You know, unless they go hunting for a Pokemon on the bench, then, you know, we're chilling. If they're playing Arven, that suggests to me that Kingdra will be what tanks a hit here. Yeah, I know. We need another Kingdra. So if I'd thought ahead a little bit, I could have discarded this off the Trekking Shoes, and then we could have, instead of going through Horsea, we could have just put the Kingdra straight into play. But I didn't really think about that being like the line that I was going to go for. Never mind. It's alright. Just gotta do our best. Let's do it. What can we knock out here? Oh, we can knock out the Pidgeot. We can grab the Pidgeot here. Alrighty. These better be some good prizes. Alright, Torrential Heart. Giant Wave. Not bad. Kind of cool that we get to see the Feraligatr do its thing. Hey. That's what I'm talking about. Here we go. Ciphermaniac is still good because we got PokéStop. If they have Counter Catcher, it's fine. What are we to do about it? We'll just have to go Ciphermaniac for Candy plus Earthen Vessel. And then use Superior. I really hope they just attack the Feraligatr. If they do that, that's amazing for us. Okay, that's not good. Don't do that. Don't do that. Stop it. That's not giving me enough energy, actually. Yikes! Yikes. They are rude. That is so rude, dude. Boom.
Blueberry_166 just redeemed card review.
Yeah, Sylveon? Yeah, we can have a look. I think I'm just gonna do this. I think maybe we just swing into this for the big damage. I'm gonna play this and see. Kingdra to Water Energy. I'm very afraid of putting this down only for it to get Kingdra EX to be knocked out. But I don't know if I've got a good choice in the matter. I don't know that I get to have an opinion. You know what I mean. Let's go this. Let's go those two.
Sora!
I'm really afraid if I put down the Kingdra, it's going to get knocked out. Oh, the max belt's in the discard pile. We might be alright then. Yeah, we'll be fine. I'm glad I checked. So we need to do this. And I don't want to use this until I've got 4 energy in the discard pile. So I'm just going to go Torrential Heart. And then swing. Kingdra cooking? Don't know. We're kind of getting cooked, to be honest. We're getting cooked. But we're trying. It's just always no matter what. Always no matter what. They've always got the goods. Feels bad. Okay. Haven't got too much else to work with, huh? So I think we're attacking with Baxcalibur here. We're gonna go Spirit Energy Retrieval, get rid of these. Okay. I think I want to attack with Baxcalibur. I think that's what I want to do. No, I should probably just attack with Feraligatr. That's probably better. Just swing for 160. It's fine. I don't know. I want to make them work for it. I want to make them work for it. I'm gonna go Baxcalibur here. Boom. Because if I can go one prize, if they just fail to have another boss's orders somehow, they've only played one, so I don't like my chances. You could also hit us with the counter catcher, and that would be super sad. Dude, ain't no way. No counter catcher, please. We've used both our counter catchers. No! No, dude! Okay. Yeah, sure. Just get Switch off the PokéStop. No worries. No worries. Did we Arven before or nah? Okay. It's gotta be Feraligatr here. It has to be. But we lose because of this. I think it's inevitable. Wait, I need a second Scoop Up Cyclone. Have we got a second one? No? Dang. That blows. What? Pray for what exactly? They're going to have another one. It's going to happen. It will suck. It will suck. I'm gonna do this. They don't. Well, I guess if we're not putting down another Horsea, they really don't care if we have this Kingdra or not. The energies just go here. I really don't think it matters. We just put the energies here. Okay. I think my opponent wins by one prize. No. I really don't see how this doesn't work out for them. Prized? 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 Prize cards? This is a boss and this is a counter catcher. I could pass, but then they're not under any pressure to move the game forward either. They could just wait. I guess they don't know our deck list, but yeah. Like, there's a chance that they just, you know, like they pass and then we do, and then we pass, and then they get to attack with Charizard again. So I really needed to move the game forward. Good. Good. Oh! Oh! Here we go. Here we go. All right, PokéStop time. PokéStop time. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We just did that, right? Easy peasy. Oh, easy peasy. Oh, the hero is here. Yes, dude. Bang. The king. Dude. Alright, this game was scary. And maybe I need to change some different counts, but that, in theory, is what you want out of a Kingdra EX game. So look, this might end up making its way onto YouTube. And if it does, I hope you enjoyed the game. Like and subscribe and comment and all that sort of stuff. Hopefully you're a fan of Kingdra EX. Maybe you've got some different ideas on what to do with it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks all. Goodbye. They threw for the content. Hi, YouTube. Hi, YouTube.